I've never been scared to be in a kayak till today. You a big guy looking to fish tournaments out of a Jackson kayak, Knarr? Let me tell you why that might not be a good idea. Now let me preface that by saying if you're 250 and south of that weight, man, you should be able to load that thing up with all the fixings, the XI3, the Newport, the Torpedo, with all your full load up. But if you're a bigger guy, thinking that you found something an upgrade, or newer, or better than the previous Jackson big rig, nope. 2 months ago, I was the happiest guy around. Sold my Old Town Sportsman PDL 106 to my brother, drove down to Kentucky and picked up the first Jackson kayak Knarr to hit the showroom, one of my dealers down south. Man, I was ready to go. The first time out in it was a little rough. I had to kind of stretch the rudder cables that first go around. When I got home, tighten them up, everything was good. Threw my crate, my rods, fished a few different kayak tournaments, just pedaling around, and decided this year, man, I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to move up in class. Picked up a live scope, picked up a lithium battery to run it, picked up an XI3 motor guide to put on the front of this new Knarr. Seen all these launch videos, all this great stuff. Woo, I was ready to go. But before I can even get it registered and titled for the motor here in my home state of Indiana, I'm out fishing the KBF State Challenge Series in May, fishing on the last day, trying to, get some more fish. And I catch this fish. Gets me up into the top 15. I'm a happy camper ready to go. And then when I reach up to turn the camera off after putting the fish back in the water, I rolled left and I thought I was going to flip the kayak, and it took me aback. And I didn't really understand what was going, so I kind of shifted around a little bit and I could feel the kayak shifting. What I didn't know at the time was I had water in the hull, and I had lots. Well, let me just... So here I am, the final day of KBF Mayhem, and I have to get off the water because my brand new $4,200 Jackson Knarr is throwing me left or right, and I can't sit in the middle enough. Anytime I turn, it tries to throw me over. I lean either way, and it hasn't done this. I've been on the water 6-7 times so far, no issues until today. But problem is, I suspect, yeah, I've got water in the frickin' hole. Okay. Does anybody need a live well in their frickin' kayak? Yeah, she got water all right. I've never been scared to be in a kayak till today. Thought it was gonna roll me over, and my fat ass can't go in the water because I'm too heavy and out of shape and have a heart condition and can't swim. So Jackson, I paid full retail for this thing. Here's hoping your warranty's worth the shit. Now to be fair, I got the kayak back home. My son helped me stand it up. We drained the water out of it. Seen people drain their coolers, but not their kayak. Yeah, awesome. I feel so fucking safe. Now let me back up. I've been kayak fishing probably the last 8-9 years. I got into kayak fishing because the place where I work has a pond. It's super skinny. You can't really get a boat in there. You can when it's like super flooded, but for the most part, it's kind of a bass buggy kayak, one of those kind of bodies of water, full of big fish. My sons and I have been fishing out there for, since they were little. We've been kayak fishing for a long time. I had a kayak trip with my son before he went to Afghanistan, and we kind of did another one once he got back. But never have I ever felt unsafe in a kayak. Not from the cheap little Sun Dolphin I had, nor from the Old Town topwater that I upgraded to, nor from the Old Town Sportsman PDL 106 I've been in the last couple of years. And yeah, oddly, this is one of the most terrifying moments in my life. Now, for those of you who are wondering, why would I be terrified? I'm a 70% disabled veteran, jacked up my knees and my back in the Army way back in the day. But needless to say, my back and most importantly my left knee just really doesn't work. Obviously I've gained weight as I've aged. I have a sit down job, not very fit. Some people get out and stay in shape, some of us don't. It just is what it is. A big dude, I'm 54 years old, 330 pounds. To add on to that, I had my first heart attack at 35, when I was still a skinny dude. Just one of those things. Had my second one a couple years later. Again, I was chunky because I'd stopped smoking for my first heart attack and put on some weight. But nothing like I am now. But still, just so you understand, I started piling on weight after I quit smoking. My ride back to the boat ramp was terrifying. I mean, I hate to admit that. It felt like if I didn't stay perfectly still in the middle of this kayak, it was going to throw me off into 12, 15 feet of water. I can't swim. I could probably grab a hold of the kayak, but if I go to start kicking my feet and other things like that, you know, who knows how long the old ticker will, you know, hold out. Now keep in mind, before you get too judgmental, kayak bass fishing has become kind of a thing among a lot of veterans for veteran recreational therapy, whether you're overweight, you have PTSD, issues to deal with, getting out, getting together with your buds, your family. Kayak fishing is a great way to do it. And as you all probably know, there's many different ways. Paddle, pedal, or electric. But, you know, if you're in a situation like me, you get a boat that's bigger than what you would ever need it for so that you don't have to worry about it. They actually make tandem kayaks for people to take disabled veterans out in their wheelchairs and go out that way too, but I digress. Now, I immediately put a warranty claim in to Jackson Kayaks. Now, let me tell you, as ticked off as I was when I made that video, there was actually a lot that I said in those clips just from my adrenaline being so high that I didn't put in there because, you know, I was mad, and I was, you know, still coming kind of down off of that. But you got the gist of where I was, of my mentality at that point in time. Now, to be fair, the Jackson kayak warranty process, man, zip, quick, fast, and in a hurry. They had my kayak back in Jackson, took my information, took all the videos and everything I sent, adjusted the mold. Apparently they had cut too much weight out of the back. Probably happens when you're trying to gain speed or something like that, but it just wasn't as tough as it really should have been, which is fine. I think it was 3 weeks later, had a brand new moldy kayak, good to go. Problem was, it's still not weight rated correct. Now, I've been pedaling around in my Jackson Knarr without the motors. I actually sent the XI3 back, thinking, hey, I'll just get a Newport Vessels, put the batteries up in the front, put the motor in the back, kind of balance things out. Kayak still had water coming up through the scuppers, about 3 inches. This time it's in my feet with me, actually causing the same issues anytime you lean left or right. I'm like, okay, so I understand what's going on here. They way underweight rated this kayak. This is not the kayak for me. This would be probably great for somebody who's like 75 pounds less than I am. Awesome. Not the kayak for me. I want something weight rated, obviously properly, that I can put a trolling motor on and my batteries and my tournament gear and go fish. No big deal. So emails back and forth with Jackson, and they asked me if I'd seen like their little skiff thing, which is like the tube pontoon deal with like the seat in it. I was like, no, I want a kayak, you know, kind of like you had with the big rig that one supports 550 pounds. I know dudes my weight that compete in KBF, you know, that's had, you know, full loadout gear, XI3 batteries, awesome. Problem is, same dude gets a Knarr, puts all his stuff in it. Same problem I have. Not gonna bring his name into it. He's known. He's posted the videos and pictures on his Instagram. But you know, he put his stuff on it, and he's got 3 inches of water coming up from the scuppers and from the front of the drive, basically causing the same problem. If he leans left or right, it's throwing the water left or right, sends the balance that way. He took his tournament stuff off of it, and it looks like he's in his backup rig right now. Again, Jackson's warranty department, awesome. Their marketing department, hey man, they really showed what this thing can do. Problem is, in my opinion, they didn't properly weight rate test it. And we know this because when they initially launched it, the weight capacity specs were at 475, and they've recently updated them on their website to be 425, probably due to my case. So I'd ask for a refund. Week goes by. I was like, hey, any follow up? He's like, yep, I talked to the kayak dealer where you picked it up from. You can take it back down there and they'll give you a refund minus a 15% restocking fee. 15% restocking fee? I bought the kayak based on the specs that you posted on your website, that you've advertised everywhere since you launched this kayak. I don't blame the dealer at all. They had nothing to do with this. They weren't even going to get back the boat that they originally sold me. So they're not at fault at all, but they were willing to refund me my money minus a 15% 15% restocking fee. But I sent this email back to this guy and their marketing team asking me why I, who am already out the money for the first trip down there, and then I paid what the boat cost, full retail, plus the tax. Then when I got the warranty replacement, took that one to my BMV, titled it, and registered it out through 2024. Can somebody make it make sense to me why I get to eat those costs and the 15% restocking fee? The thing that really ticked me off was the flavor of the email that Jackson sent to the dealer. He emails me back, "Hi JT, such and such from so and so, and I spoke, and we can do a refund, less a 15% restocking fee. I have copied so and so here, and he will be your contact for the transaction. So and so, let me introduce you to JT, whom we spoke about over the phone. It turns out that the Knarr doesn't accommodate his needs, and he fears that the boat will be overweight once he and all his gear is in it. If either of you have any questions, please let me know." The way that should have been worded is, it turns out the boat that we build and the specifications we published didn't meet JT's needs. Because obviously, had I known, I would have put that in my math while calculating which boat I was going to go with at the time. Because obviously my other options, Nuke Unlimited, the Old Town Autopilot 136, the Titan from Native, the new 12-footer, 500 plus pound weight capacity rating. I can do the math. I did the math. I calculated in your 475, the battery, the XI3, and generally the amount of tackle I fished with, and left myself with plenty of room for safety. But again, I'm stuck with the 15% restocking fee and the gas to drive back down there again and back. That's not standing behind your product, Jackson Kayak. So let's talk about complaints. There's a lot of things I really like about this boat, but my weight, boat improperly rated, this thing is always full of at least an inch of water. All right, I want to see how much water is actually sitting behind me. I have a minimal tournament load with me, like 4 or 5 rods and my terminal tackle and one other box, and then a money bag. I can't see it from where I'm sitting, but I can sure hear it running around. Taking this thing back. Too many issues, and don't trust it. I do not trust this thing with my life. Complaint number 2, these straps, plastic buckles, cheap. Big guys like me, they come apart. I actually took the straps off of this and used shorter NRS straps to hold the seat in position, because if not, anytime I shift around, the whole chair would just start leaning back. So yeah, you would think with a $4,200 kayak they could invest a little more. Seat's very comfortable, but it sags. You want to tighten up all those straps and then put some cloth tape on them to hold them in place. As you can see with these, I tried electric tape, didn't work. You want cloth tape. This riser thing, interesting concept. It can bounce around while it's going down the road. So I followed what some others did and actually put some short straps or Velcro on both the front and back. But I took it back and I got my refund, and I put my money down on Old Town at one of our local dealers. But again, buyer beware. If you're a big guy looking to build a tournament yak, I advise you look at something that's weighted higher, and probably from a company that's got a little bit more ethics standing behind it. Because why a customer should ever eat the cost when they make a purchase based on the specifications that the company posts, well, that's beyond me. But again, hey, if you're under 250, you want to fish tournaments, that thing is pretty fun. I hope they solve the problem permanently with the scuppers, and hopefully that's just from us fat guys banging around on the back area and it being too thin, and they resolve that. And I always take that into consideration. I don't think later I was as mad about, water being in the hole, because I understand completely. It's a brand new mold, a whole new thing. If they don't test it with big guys, stuff happens. And again, they jumped on it and replaced it real fast. I think the thing that leaves the sour taste in my mouth is they didn't care enough about me to want me as a customer, so I won't be. If you have any comments or questions, hey, drop me a comment down below. I kept evidence for everything that I said in this video. I gave them a chance to make it right. I mean, realistically, all I did was want a refund. Didn't care about the taxes. I just wanted what I put in. But again, if you're a bigger guy looking for a tournament rig, there's plenty of other good, safe options out there that I would take a look at. Until next time, get outside when you can and make some memories. One cast at a time.